Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Yeesh. Hey guys, what would be the difference? Preemptive, like, original link always where it is, Discord always where it is. My name's Connor. Hi. Um, so the JAS 39 Gripen, how Sweden built the world's best non-stealth fighter jet. Look, I'm no military equipment jet expert, so my questions might sound dumb. But why not make every jet a stealth jet? And like, it is making a jet a stealthy jet fighter super expensive, that so expensive that sometimes you need to just not worry about that and make just a regular fighter and spend the money on other things to use them in certain scenarios where stealth isn't a factor. So I guess that's anyway. So I watched the Eurofighter Typhoon, really cool, and you guys are great at helping me out despite my probably crappy question. Let's go, guys. All right, Sweden. See what you got. Oh, Sweden. I gotta do Finland next. See what toys they're bringing to NATO.
You are probably familiar with famous jets like the U-2, F-16 Falcon, or F-22 Raptor. Globally, these multi-role combat jets are well known for their superior features and offensive capabilities. But have you ever heard of the Saab JAS 39 Gripen? Though not as famous as its U.S. counterpart, the Swedish fighter jet should not be underestimated when it comes to systems and capacity. Well, how amazing is it really? Manufactured by the Swedish aerospace and defense company Saab AB, JAS 39 Gripen is a
I won't pause this much, I'm sorry. But it always kind of cracks me up, or it makes sense in the end, but when I hear like these amazing military fighter jets, or like NASA space engines, and it's like, or like, this is a Toyota rocket engine, or this is a Saab fighter jet, just thinking that like some I associate with normal cars. But I guess it makes sense, because if you're going to be looking to give a big military contract to someone who knows how to build engines, then it makes sense. But it always kind of cracks me up. It's like Saab jet.
Light single-engine and defense company Saab AB, JAS 39 Gripen is a
Volvo
light
jet.
single-engine multi-role combat aircraft in service with the Swedish Air Force. The Gripen features a delta wing, which is a wing shaped in the form of a triangle. It also has a canard configuration with negative stability design and fly-by-wire flight system, replacing the conventional manual flight controls with an electronic interface. By 2020, more than 200 Gripens of various models A to F have been developed. First, let's dig into the history of the JAS 39 Gripen.
Okay.
The development of JAS 39 Gripen began when Sweden sought to build new fighters to replace its aging Saab 35 Draken and Saab 37 Viggen in the late 1970s. For a defensive dispersed basing plan in the case of invasion, the Swedish Air Force needed a cheap Mach 2 aircraft with good short-field performance. The concept included 800-meter long by 17-meter wide primitive runways from the base 90 system. One goal was to make the plane smaller than the Viggen while maintaining or increasing its payload range performance.
Mach 2 is like, wouldn't that make you more visible? Mach 2 is like 1,500 miles an hour, right? Twice the speed of sound.
The Saab 38, also known as the B-3LA, was proposed as an attack aircraft and trainer, and the A-20, a modification of the Viggen, was proposed as a fighter, attack, and maritime reconnaissance aircraft. The General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon, the McDonnell Douglas FA-18 Hornet, and the Northrop F-20 Tiger Shark were among the foreign designs which were studied and taken as references. In 1979, the Swedish government commenced a study for an all-around platform capable of JAS, which stands for Aerial Warfare, Close Air Support, as well as Reconnaissance, indicating multi-role capabilities to satisfy various roles during missions. A number of Saab designs were reconsidered, with Project 2105 being the most favorable, recommended to the government by
Wait, so these things flap down to slow you down like a parachute when you're landing?
as well as Reconnaissance, indicating multi-role capabilities to satisfy various roles during missions. A number of Saab designs were reconsidered, with Project 2105 being the most favorable, recommended to the government by the Defense Material Administration. Then, in the 1980s, the industrial arm of the Swedish Armed Forces, consisting of several big corporations like Saab Scania, LM Ericsson, and Volvo Flygmotor, established the JAS Industry Group as a joint venture. The Gripen was first rolled out by Saab on April 26, 1987, at the company's 50th anniversary. The first flight on December 9, 1988 was actually delayed by 18 months due to some issues with the flight control system. Problems concerning the aircraft's avionics, particularly the fly-by-wire flight control system, FCS, and the relaxed stability design, appeared during the test program. This problem caused the prototype to crash during an attempted landing at Linköping on February 2, 1989, with the test pilot Lars Rydström surviving with a broken elbow. Pilot-induced oscillation.
For a second, I was like, "Oh, that's not bad. He's okay."
At Linköping on February
I thought he was gonna slow down here.
2nd, 1989, with
the jet is still going on.
Pilot Lars Rydström surviving with a broken elbow. Pilot-induced oscillation was determined.
Wait, guys, he survived, so I don't feel bad going back. Did he accidentally activate the thruster?
On February
right here?
2nd, 1989.
Oh no, it was always going.
With the test pilot Lars Rydström surviving with a broken elbow. Pilot-induced oscillation was determined as the cause of the crash, which was caused by issues with the FCS's pitch control routine. Following the crash, the Saab and U.S. firm Calspan introduced software-related modifications to the aircraft.
That's a cool shot.
A partnership agreement between Saab Military Air.
What's the purpose of the thing at the end of some missiles? Where you see it's the regular missile, and then they have this weird protruding thing at the end there that I have no clue what it does. Is it something to do with tracking?
A partnership agreement between Saab Military Aircraft and British Aerospace was announced during the 1995 Paris Air Show. This cooperation between the two will form the joint venture company Saab BAE Gripen AB.
Yeah, right there, guys. Right there, guys.
The two will form the joint venture company Saab BAE.
Right here. What is this? I mean, there's no way that the payload is in there. Is this for penetrating like an initial explosion if you want to strike a tank or something?
BAE Gripen AB, with the purpose of adapting, producing,
thank you guys for answering, by the way. You guys are
at
good.
The international level. The partnership also involves the transfiguration of the A and B series aircraft to the export C and D series, which encouraged the Gripen's compatibility with the standard of NATO.
Gotta say, it's a cool looking plane.
Now, let's take a look at the design and features embedded in the JAS-39 Gripen. One thing that probably differentiates Gripen from the rest of the 4+
Ooh, nice grass. Very nice grass.
One thing that probably differentiates Gripen from the rest of the 4+ generation fighters on the market is its small size, along with the low cost required to operate this aircraft. Even though it's difficult to calculate the flyaway cost, the Gripen reportedly had the government spend less than $60 million. Gripen also boasted its low operational cost, probably the lowest of any modern fighter jets. For its physical specs, the Gripen could take off at a maximum of 16,500 kilograms and is able to accelerate up to Mach 2. Notable for its supercruisability, Gripen has a range of approximately 1,500 kilometers. For either beyond visual range missiles
Hmm? Hmm? Shoot, where is it? Right here. A 1,000 miles. I guess for jets, jets aren't supposed to really. You know, what I mean, they don't have. They're more designed for. So jets are more like in the Olympics. Jets are like the 100, 200 meter sprinters, but the bigger planes. Is that a bad analogy? Okay. So only 1,000 miles. So they couldn't even. So if a jet took off in New York, it couldn't even make it to like Kansas or like to let alone California.
Missile BVR and dogfighting combatants, Gripen is surely at the top of its class. The Gripen has a reputation for being user-friendly, with simple displays and a straightforward interface.
Ooh. I pause so goddamn much, I know that. So the pilot is rarely, by some miracle, if there is a pilot. Sometimes I'm amazed by like the professions people have when they watch a video, and I'm like you watched my video. But if there's anyone who has flown, like if you've flown as a passenger, like as like a fun flight, I mean, good for you. I'd like to do that. But if you ever have been a jet pilot, do you ever like, so you don't drive like a car out the windshield? You're driving by this?
In terms of lethality, the Gripen was the first fighter in the world to carry the lethal Meteor air-to-air missile, a beyond visual range BVR weapon capable of tracking and killing targets up to 80 miles away. The Gripen C is capable of carrying 4 Meteor missiles, while the Gripen E is capable of carrying 7. Another interesting aspect of the Gripen is the addition of dedicated electronic warfare pods to the Gripen's already allegedly formidable onboard jamming capabilities. According to Saab, this is probably the most advanced EW suite carried by a fighter, making the Gripen a valuable commodity for suppression or destruction of enemy air defense dead missions. Lastly, now let's take a look at the operational history of the aircraft. A total of 204 Gripens were ordered by the Swedish Air Force in 3 batches. The first delivery was made to the Flygvapnet on June 8, 1993 during a ceremony in Linköping. The last of the first batch was sent on December 13, 1996. The first batch 2 sample was delivered to the Air Force on December 19, 1996. The Gripen has been exported to Hungary, the Czech Republic, Thailand, Brazil, and South Africa by Saab. Finland, Canada, Colombia, Botswana, Croatia, India, Indonesia, and the Philippines are among the countries that have expressed interest, with another dozen or so countries indicating some interest. Saab
The Indonesian flag looks a lot like the Polish.
Interest, with another dozen or so countries indicating some interest. Saab has been generally receptive to technology transfer and has made it easier for local companies to participate in the production process of some components. This has made the Gripen an interesting option for governments who struggle to explain where they spent the money to the skeptical public. Because of the involvement of British Aerospace Systems, the United Kingdom has an effective veto over the Gripen's export. Argentina has been unable to obtain the aircraft as a result of this.
Jesus. What? So they won't attack the Falklands?
On the other hand, in the instance of Switzerland, the Gripen was caught up in the ongoing court case against right-wing agitator Julian Assange, as his supporters rallied against a referendum that would have authorized the Swiss Air Force to buy 22 fighter jets.
Julian Assange, that's a familiar name. I just can't put a face on it.
91 copy. Number 1 eyeballer and number
Really cool video, guys. I'm going to check out some Finnish military equipment. Love y'all. Hope you guys are doing well. I really, really appreciate if anyone answers, especially if you have expertise. Even if you don't and you have an idea, I'd love to see your comments. Help me out. And I'll see you guys next time, all right? Bye.